One Question is brought to you by Turnkey Search, a top industry search firm since 1996.
So you've been on both sides of this table, obviously as a candidate when you were an AD, if no more times than when you made a move from Villanova to BC. And now you've been on this side. What are some keys that you have seen from candidates on how to effectively capture their audience of the committee?
I've found that the candidates that are direct in their answers are much, much more likely to keep the interest of the committee. I think when you ramble on about a question and you ramble on and on and on, I think you lose the committee. I think it's really important, and it works very well for many of the candidates. When asked the question, they say, yes, that's a very good question, and here's what I think about that. 1, 2, 3, 4. The committee can follow that.
How are you guys going through the steps in lead up to preparing a candidate on an interview with a committee or with a president? Arguably the most important facet of their opportunity within a search process, without obviously revealing trade secrets. To what degree, are you guys prepping a candidate right before they walk in the room on who's who, where everybody's sitting, and that sort of thing?
Well, the preparation is done long before the interview. You want the candidates, you want to tell them what's important to this president or to this committee, what their issues are, what they're thinking about, and how they want to go about different things. And so you might tell them, in this particular interview, you're going to be asked about gender equity. It's very important that you have a plan for that. Have you done any oversight with regarding construction or renovation of buildings on campus? Have you done a lot of fundraising? If so, what have you fundraised for, and how deeply were you involved in it? So we tell them that they need to be prepared for certain questions that they're going to get, but you certainly don't want to take away their individuality in how they're going to answer those questions.
So I think my last question on this topic is, and Michigan could have been like this, other searches that you guys are currently in or have previously executed, I'm sure apply. For candidates that are involved in AD searches who might also have other opportunities on the table or that come about within that same timeline of a search going on, how do you keep people on the hook, if you will? Do you have strategies on that front, or what do you do to make sure somebody's still engaged or gauge their interest continually in the opportunity?
I think constant communication is the thing, and that's why it is so intense, and that's why it is a full-time job all the time. Our firm does not take on a lot of searches at the same time. We don't want to be stretched so thin that we cannot be in constant communication with the applicants or the candidates that are involved in this job, because you're dealing with their life. They have a right to get to you whenever, to ask you questions that might arise, to ask where the search is. Is it going a little bit faster than you had thought? Is it a little bit slower than I thought? I haven't heard from somebody for a day or two. Is that a good thing, a bad thing, or not to worry about it? What are the delays going to be like over Christmas and New Year's? So all those things are very, very important, and more so to some candidates than to others. So you treat every candidate individually. You give them as much attention as you possibly can, and you're true and honest in every answer, because you're dealing with their life and their livelihood, and that's really, really something that's important.
And that's today's One Question, brought to you by Turnkey Search, a top industry search firm since 1996. One Question is designed to give D1 Ticker subscribers valuable insights on how executive leaders in college athletics think about key issues on their respective campuses, in their departments, or within their leagues and conferences. One Question is brought to you by Turnkey Search, a top industry search firm since 1996.